There was a study done in the 90s, and what they found out, I think, still holds true today. So, what they did is they took a group of men and they took a group of women and they categorized these men. So, it was like high status, t shirt, McDonald's. Same thing with the women, high status, t shirt, McDonald's. And then they asked, the men, okay, would you go to coffee with this person, go on a date, marry? And in all three categories, the guy didn't care. He's like, yes, sure, whatever. With women, it was a whole different story. Women went to the high status man for the majority of them. So that was for coffee, date, marriage.
Hard truth for single men. Dating is competitive and attractive women are drawn to guys who have options. This means 3 things for you. First, if you're only going on 1 date a month, you're putting yourself at a huge disadvantage because you're probably going to act clingy when you meet a woman you're actually into. Second, never plan a future with a woman you just met. Until you've been on at least 3 dates with a woman, you have no idea if she's girlfriend, let alone wife material. Third, you should date around. The more women you date and get experience with on dates, the more relaxed you'll be when you meet the right one.
The dating market didn't reject men. Men rejected the dating market. And if you think that's an exaggeration, let me show you the numbers that nobody wants to talk about. 63% of men under 30 are now single. That's not a typo. Nearly 2/3. And here's a fact. Most of them aren't even trying anymore. Bumble's stock dropped 90% since its peak. Match Group laid off hundreds. Dating apps are hemorrhaging male users, and everyone's asking the same question. Where did all the men go? I'll tell you exactly where. They checked out, and they're not coming back. Let me break this down in such a way that makes sense. The average guy on dating apps get a 0.5% match rate. That's one match every 200 swipes. And of that one match, 70% won't respond. So you're looking at roughly 700 swipes for one actual conversation. Now, imagine doing that for months, for years, pouring time and energy into a system that treats you like you are invisible. At some point, you do the math, and the math says this is a waste of time. Here's what nobody wants to say out loud. Modern dating has become a marketplace, and like any marketplace, it runs on supply and demand. Women on dating apps get 100 plus matches a day. Men get 3. That's if you are lucky. That creates a dynamic where the average guy is competing with hundreds of other men for the attention of a woman who's already overwhelmed by options. And I get it. She's not even being unreasonable. She's just responding to abundance. But for him, it's digital rejection on an industrial scale, day after day. And eventually, he asks himself, why am I doing this to myself? Now let's talk the cost. Let's talk investment. The average date costs a guy $80 to $120. Dinner, drinks, whatever. Multiply that by 10 first dates to maybe find one second date. That's $1,000 for one potential connection. But it's not just money, it's time, it's the mental energy, it's the emotional labor of constantly performing, constantly entertaining, constantly proving your worth. And for what? A 10% chance she's actually interested. More men are running this equation and deciding, I can invest that $1,000 in myself, gym membership, new skills, building something real. And that investment has a guaranteed return. Listen, bro, if this is hitting different right now, smash that subscribe button because I'm going to keep breaking down the realities they don't want you to see, the statistics, the patterns, the truths. This channel is for men who are done pretending the game isn't rigged. Now, here's where it really gets interesting. A study from 2023 found that women rate 80% of men as below average in effectiveness. Let that sink. 80% of men are below average. That's not how averages work. That's hypergamy in data form. Meanwhile, men rate women on a perfect bell curve, 50% above average, 50% below. Normal distribution. But when women are rating 8 out of 10 men as not good enough, what do you think happens to those 8 men? They leave. They stop playing. They realize the game was never designed for them to win. So what are these men doing instead? They are going to the gym. Male gym membership is up 37% since 2020. They are learning skills, YouTube tutorials on everything from plumbing to investing. They are dominated by male views. They are building businesses. Male entrepreneurship is at an all-time high. They are not sitting at home bitter. They are redirecting that energy. They are asking, if I can't get validation from dating, where can I get it? And the answer is from building something real. There's a quote that's going around. The juice isn't worth the squeeze anymore. And that's exactly it. It's not that these men can't date. It's that the return on investment doesn't justify the effort. When you can work on yourself for a year and see guaranteed results, versus chasing dating for a year and maybe get breadcrumbs, the choice becomes obvious. This isn't bitterness, it's mathematics, cold hard calculation. Here's the uncomfortable truth. This trend is accelerating. It's not slowing down, it's accelerating. More men are discovering they are happier alone than constantly rejected. More men are realizing their peace is worth more than companionship with someone who settled for them. More men are choosing the certainty of self improvement over chaos of modern dating. And if you are one of those men, I've created a free guide for you, 10 rules for men in modern dating. The link is on the description of this video. Download it, it's free. Make good use of it. Now, will this change? Maybe, but here's what would have to happen. Dating apps will need to fix their algorithms that prioritize the top 10% of men. Women will need to adjust their standards to match reality. Society would need to stop telling men they are the problem for having standards too. And everyone would need to admit this isn't working for most people. I'm not holding my breath. So why are most men off the dating market and never coming back? It's simple. They finally did the math. They realized their time is valuable. They understood that self-respect matters more than social approval. And they decided that building a life they love is better than chasing validation from a system that does not even value them. They are not coming back because they don't need to. They have found something better, and that something is themselves. If you're one of those men, you are not alone, bro. If you're considering joining them, you are not crazy, bro. And if anyone tries to shame you for it, remember, they need you more than you need them. The market didn't reject men. Men rejected the market. And they are thriving. Share with your brother who needs to watch this. And don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next one.